AZ Audibles, Ralph Amsden, Zach Elvira. Okay, I want to get into the quarterback spot just a little bit. When the season started, what I heard was, Brad, it's the Liberty quarterback, and then it's the Basha quarterback. And then I look around, and here we are at the quarter pole, almost halfway mark of the season. I'm like, well, there's this quarterback over at Paradise Honors who's just tearing it up, who has an amazing grade point average. Ralph, have you seen enough of Gage Baker to say, if we're talking about quarterback of the year in Arizona, he'd be the guy, or is it just level of competition from your view?
Well, you still have to be able to get the ball to your receivers, regardless of level of competition. This is a guy who, in the first half against Sholo, was 16 of 16 for 441 yards and 9 touchdowns. I watched all 9 of those touchdown passes. He can sling the ball. Is he going to be playing at Michigan State or Oklahoma? No, but that doesn't matter. This is somebody who can play at the next level, and it's happening in the 3A.
Yeah, I don't think competition level really matters that much, at least to us. Obviously, to college recruiters, maybe it will. He is a kid that can play at the next level. I think he's shown that. I think he's proved that. I mean, you're like Ralph said, you still have a defense in front of you. You still have some very good defenses at the 3A level, and throwing for 10 touchdowns in a game is absolutely ridiculous. So I think he deserves all the credit that he's getting so far from the media, and I think he deserves even more from college coaches. He deserves those offers, and he deserves to get a chance.
I'm looking at Brophy coming out to take on Basha. And, Brophy and Williamsfield fought tooth and nail. It was a great game, great finish, and talked to Jason Jewell about it. He was deflated afterwards, but said, we'll get it figured out. Have they gotten it figured out? We'll go to you first on this one, Zach. Brophy-Basha Friday night.
Man, it's going to be fun, especially when you think that Brophy now has all the transfers. I think Logan Powell is one of the biggest ones, obviously, in the offensive line. But it's going to be competitive, but Brophy's not quite there yet, I don't think. I think Basha just has too much firepower, especially with Damon Williams at quarterback. Anytime that he lines up, I think, against any team that is still trying to find their way, and I think Brophy is still trying to find their way in some ways, I think he's going to be able to take over the game. And that Basha defense also gets some transfers this week, including one very good linebacker who used to be at Higley. So I think I think Basha ends up taking this one, but Brophy again makes it competitive for at least the first 2 or 3 quarters.
Ralph?
I think that in order to be successful, Brophy has to rely on the other team making a mistake or two. Offensively, they're much better than last year. I flew out. I went and watched Charlie McGinnis play. I was not impressed with how one-dimensional that offense was this year. He's athletic, he's accurate, he's a leader, and Brophy looks great. But here's the deal. Damon Williams has 13 incompletions in 5 games. 13 incompletions in 5 games. He has 17 touchdown passes. He has 4 more touchdowns than he has incomplete passes. He has 1 interception that he's thrown in the past, I think it's 13, 14 games. They're not going to make a mistake. You cannot rely on it. If you force them to make a mistake, you better do something with it. So, I don't envy the task at hand for Brophy. I'm sure Jason Jewell loves it. I'm sure those kids are going to love this challenge. But you're looking at a very, very well-oiled machine that isn't even as talented as it was last year, but it's much more efficient. And efficiency is a real killer in high school football.
Both these guys you can find on Arizona Varsity. Both of them kill it on Arizona Varsity, and Zach kills it at the Tribune as well. That's Ralph Amsden, and that is Zach Elvira, and that is this week's AZ Audibles, brought to you by Ortho Arizona.